Hi, everyone. This is Sabera. It's very nice to see all of you. And I'm going to be running for you today Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit in Wonder Labyrinth. This is the any percent run, which includes a couple of fun out of bounds clips that we don't see in the slightly more popular any percent no out of bounds run. And we're going to go ahead and get started pretty soon. I'm just going to go ahead and count us in. And we're going to go ahead and start in 3, 2, 1, go. So Record of Lodoss War, Deedlit and Wonder Labyrinth could alternately be titled Castlevania Ikaruga of the Night. It has very strong Symphony of the Night influences, but it is also stage-based. You don't actually need to do any backtracking whatsoever in order to complete the game. And it has a color switching mechanic like Ikaruga does. Our protagonist, Deedlit, who is an elf, as you can see, looks a whole lot like Alucard from Symphony of the Night. She wakes up in this mysterious forest, doesn't know where she is, and is just going to backslide her way to victory. We're going to go ahead and pick up our first color. We actually do have to collect our colors because this is a Metroidvania, don't forget. And that is our wind power, Sylph. And so Sylph actually lets us float in addition to our other movement options. Now, unlike Symphony of the Night, although we do have this cool backdash, we do not have a shield to cancel with. So we can't do the wild shield canceling movement that we see in Symphony of the Night. So instead, we're just going to backdash our way to victory until we pick up the thing that we can cancel, which is sliding. And so we go from Mega Man, where you jump, jump, slide, slide, to this, where you slide, backdash, slide, backdash. And so for right now, we're basically just kind of manipulating imp RNG at the moment. So if you see me do things that look a little bit weird, that's just to get those imps out of the way in the first couple of screens. We're going to try to make our way around some goblins as well as we move on to pick up our second color and our final color that gives us our Ikaruga color switching mechanic. This is Salamander, the Spirit of Flame, and that allows us to do fire damage to things and also to absorb fire attacks. We're going to pick up this knife because the knife is substantially faster and also more powerful than the rapier that we start with. It also enables us to use a technique known as knife floating. See, when we attack downward while we're in midair, the game arrests our velocity a little bit, and we can use this actually to hover quite a bit, similar to using Sylph to hover, but without having to switch elements. And so that is actually used in a number of places to make faster movement. So we're going to go ahead. A thing that I haven't talked about yet is that as we defeat enemies with one color, it builds up energy for the other color. And so we can build up to 3 levels of power for our respective spirits. At level 3, when we're equipped with a spirit, it will auto-heal us, which is not something that's super relevant just yet, but we'll see it in just a little bit. So we're going to damage boost through this, and as you can see, now my health meter is refilling on its own over time just because I happen to be on fire, and fire is level 3. So we're going to pick up our first spell, Will-O-Wisp. We're going to damage boost right back through this. Slide, 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 heal a little bit more. And a nice aspect of this game is that you actually continue to heal through cutscenes as well. So we'll get a little bit of extra HP through that. One thing is, I'm not going to continue to damage boost through all of these enemies, because if you take 4 hits in rapid succession, the worst mechanic of the game, stun, comes into play. And so we're going to avoid taking 4 hits there by jumping over a couple of those enemies and proceeding on. One other thing that I did kind of forget to mention earlier is that if you are matching colors with an attack, then you won't just be invulnerable to that attack. You will also regain MP, and so this is actually used to cast spells at things a lot more than we otherwise would. So there's a couple more examples of knife floating. I also forgot to mention that these rope puzzles, you're supposed to bounce the arrows off of metal plates in order to get the arrows to go through and break the ropes. But it turns out that you can actually just shoot arrows through the metal doors and directly into the ropes. And oh gosh. So we get to our first boss, Abram. I'm gonna do my best to quick kill this boss as quick as possible. I want to be level 3 fire here so that I can do this. Basically, being on fire provokes him to shoot wind at me, which allows me to sit and hover at him with wind. And then he's going to dive like this, and we're just going to jump and stab him there. Now, the reason that I let him dive again all the way over to the other side is because wherever his head is where the item that he drops is going to come out of him. So we wanted it to bounce from the direction that we're going to be moving. So we're going to move right out. We're going to knife float over here again. And as you can see, being on fire there is very helpful because it lets us just move right through those barriers. And here we are just going to do a little bit of extra knife floating, pierce away through another door, and pick up sliding. Now, sliding is real fun. As long as we are on our fire element, our slide is long and has tons of iframes, and we can cancel that, slide right into a backdash, and then slide right again. And that is basically going to be our main movement technique for a lot of this run, is just sliding through things, abusing our iframes as much as possible, right through that. And then just continuing on like this to get the maximum amount of distance and speed that we can wherever possible. Now, we did have a little bit of an oopsie there, where I fell off of a platform a little bit. We're going to hit these gears. These ones are actually faster to do quote-unquote legitimately, or the intended route, rather than busting through the doors. We are actually going to miss a couple of the other fun places where you can skip the puzzles by using clipping errors in the game. Whoop. A little drop shot to get that just right on the way down, and we'll go ahead and slide right over into the second boss fight at the end of this. This is Pyrrhitis, the Dark Elf, and she is our nemesis. And whoa, that was not exactly what was intended. That's going to be okay. Everything's fine. Don't mind me. And it's important to bait Pyrrhitis over to the right side of the screen, because she's going to jump backwards from wherever it is that we kill her, and then she's going to taunt us and run away. And the closer that she is to the edge of the screen, the faster we regain control, and the faster that we can move on to stage 2. So now we have exited the forest, and we are in this weird little, like, in-mansion stable, whatever. We're going to pop up here for a new weapon real quick. This is the Zebra. It is a two-handed weapon. Is our first two-handed weapon of the run. We're going to knife float a little bit over here, hang out over here. We're going to pop up here, and then we're going to pop on the Zebra. See, two-handed weapons have an interesting property in this game. You can pogo off enemies with them. So we're going to use that to get here a little bit early and pick up an upgrade for our Spirit of Wind. And that is going to allow us to do more damage with our Wind Spirit equipped. We don't pick up any of the fire upgrades in this run. We only pick up Wind Spirit upgrades because very few bosses are weak to fire. So we don't super care about them. So we're going to go ahead and use our... I booped that up a bit. All right, there we go. We're going to pogo off of that. We're going to head through here. It is most important that we have fire level 3 going into the next boss. So we are trying to preserve that as much as possible, but taking hits as wind is not as important. So we're going to go ahead and move into the Jinn and Ifrit fight. The quick kill here is a little bit touchy. And so having that extra wind upgrade makes it a little bit easier, a little bit more forgiving. And also prevents us from having to cast any will-o-wisp spells to get extra damage in. So we're going to wait here, and now we switch elements, and just position ourselves here. And with Ifrit facing to the left like this, and Jinn on our right, he's just going to go into his next super attack, firing directly into the wall, and we can just hang out here and cut him to shreds. Holding left a little bit to get into the entryway, we dash and we pick up double jump. Now, double jump enables us to clip through walls. Floors specifically. And you may be wondering how double jump allows us to clip through floors. And I'm going to show you in just a little bit. But basically, this is what's going to enable us to out of bounds. So now is actually a really good time to read a couple of donations if we have anything new.
Sure, absolutely. So I just want to reiterate that we are still pushing for our hard mode incentive for Axiom Verge, something I know Sabera is also very interested in.
Absolutely.
We are at $517 out of 1,000, so we're over halfway, and we have this run and Super Metroid, so plenty of time to still make that happen. We could probably get a donation train rolling. That would be awesome. We can get all the way to that hard mode incentive.
Yes, and I will be donating $20 toward that incentive for every death I take in this run, should I take any of them, as well. But if they do not end up going to that incentive because it's met by the end of this run for some reason, I will instead donate them to one of the other bid wars going on for the Zelda run at the end. What I just did was I stepped out of my way and back into level 1 to pick up this weapon called the Katar. The Katar is a better dagger than the dagger that I had already. The Katar both attacks faster and is stronger than the other dagger that I had, and in fact is stronger than many of the weapons that I will pick up for the rest of the game. It is the only weapon that I will be using between here and the last boss. And there's a chance that I may use a different weapon for the last boss, but it sort of depends. But so now we're going to go ahead and just clip out of bounds. So what I did there was I slid underneath that one tile railing, and then I backdashed. And by backdashing, I stood up in a place that I am too short, or that I'm too tall to be able to stand up. And when you have double jump, but not when you don't have double jump for some reason, that can cause you to clip through the floor. And this puts us out of bounds and allows us to drop through this long corridor here, which drops us right into the boss room. And so now we're standing on top of the ceiling, on top of the boss room, which would make it really hard to fight the boss, except that the game doesn't like you trying to escape boss rooms and will force you back into the boss room as at its first available opportunity. That puts us back in bounds, and that enables us to go ahead and fight Shooting Star, the red dragon. And basically what we're going to do with Shooting Star is we're just going to hover with Sylph equipped and stab him in the face with the Katar as much as possible. And then Shooting Star is no more. And that enables us to then pop over here into Chapter 3, which is a big planty plant. There's lots of plant. So the big thing that skips is it skips about 2.5 minutes of side tracking to find the green switch that unlocks green doors in Chapter 2. We are also going to break a little bit here in Chapter 3. We're going to be moving. We're not actually sequence breaking in Chapter 3. We're just cutting a backtrack a little bit short by about 30 to 45 seconds using a similar clip. This stage has these elevators that are just real finicky if you don't hit the gears quite right. And these zombies that you have to actually pace your slides through correctly to avoid hitting clusters of them. And so we're just going to be doing a lot of particular movement in this stage to make sure that we make our jumps. We want to bait these dragons toward us. They can also move backwards if you get too close to them. And you actually don't want that because you can short your jumps if they move toward you and dash faster if they, in those cases, instead of having to take longer jumps to clear them. So we've picked up our first of 5 soul keys that we need. So now we're going to go ahead and just drop through the floor again. We're going to move this way over here into this room that contains a weapon that we're not going to pick up, the boomerang. And then we're just going to drop through the ceiling out into the boomerang room. The reason that we're able to do that is because there happens to be another one of those narrow one-tile tunnels in that room. And so we can basically just use the same clip that we used to get out of bounds to get ourselves back in bounds. And those are the only 2 known ways to return from an out of bounds clip. That's all of the clipping that we'll see in this run, unfortunately. If we need to fill time afterwards, if we're running ahead, I can show you a couple of other clips that exist that result in instant game overs. Because that is what happens if you fall off the bottom of the map. In the pre-release version of this, the game would crash, but they fixed that by making it so that you get a game over. That was the fix. we get to see this little cutscene where this lady, who is Carla the Grey Witch, if you know anything about Record of Lodoss War, this is a licensed property. Record of Lodoss War is actually a fantasy anime from like the 80s or 90s. It's wonderful, by the way. It's a really good series. So Carla is giving this weird knife to Piratus and then disappearing. And we're going for our 3rd of 5 soul keys here, and we need to get Carla out of our way for this. But Carla's a pushover, but she does have a friend who's not a pushover, and that is Flaus. So we're gonna fight. I kind of botched this up a little bit. It's okay. It's fine. That's fine. Nothing bad happened. It was just a little bit longer than I expected, because I booped something up in the sequence there, but that's okay. One Flaus later, we can slide through some more zombies carefully. We always slide through zombies carefully. And we pick up our 3rd key of 5. So we have 2 more keys to grab before we can make our way into the last portion of this stage. And so we're going to go ahead and hop over here. We can ignore this elevator, actually, by knife floating. One of the advantages of having the Katar. And that allows us to move a little bit more quickly into this corridor, at the end of which we find a key that is in the form of Slain. It is the Slain Soul Key. And so now we can go ahead and advance to our last key hunt, getting past some of those shades. Those shades, the little like foggy things that materialize into people, will stun you instantly if you take any damage from them. It doesn't matter how many hits you've taken. So we do want to avoid those. In this, in that dark room with all of the little fluttery shades, I'm trying to kill a certain number of them so that they will drop. An item. This game does not have randomized drops. If I kill 30 enemies in this stage and the 30th enemy that I kill is one of these shades, it will drop an item. And that item is very important for the end of the run. It is not important anywhere else in the run, but it is very important for the last boss. So we actually do want to make sure that we get enough of those kills in. And so this is what we looked for those keys for. The soul keys will now enable me in the clock room to unlock this elevator and proceed downward into the later portion of the stage. One of the things that we're desperately looking for in the any percent run, or that we were desperately looking for in the any percent run but have not managed to find, is a way to skip the key hunt. Is the anime queer at all? I wish the anime were queer. There is certainly a way to read certain parts of it that way. I wouldn't necessarily... I wouldn't overall say that that's the case, though. All right. So that dark bow is the item that we were looking to pick up. We have a couple more plants to slide through. Please no. So with those, we are done sliding through plants, which is one of the most terrifying parts of the game. And we are on our way to fight Carla Mark II. So Carla version 2 is not that different from Carla version 1. She does have one different attack, but nothing that's actually going to change what the fight actually ends up looking like. This time when Carla disappears, instead of summoning Flaus, she's actually going to summon the Demon God. Demon God is more of a goddess than a god, and that's pretty great. And we're just going to... we took a little bit of damage right at the end, but still overall a very nice quick kill. Yes, the anime is incredibly D&D. My understanding is that it was commissioned by Japanese salarymen after they played D&D. That is my
time for a donation or two?
Yes, we have time for a couple quick donations. I'm running to get a spell here, so
Nice. We have $22 from Rujisu that says, putting this towards making Sabera's life more difficult. Smiley face, heart. Thank you. We all want to make that happen. And we have $20 from Stephanie that says, let's get that hard mode run. And happy Pride, everybody. Thank you so much.
happy Pride. Thank you so much, folks. Oh. So I just ran out of my way to grab a spell called Windstorm. Windstorm costs a lot of MP, more than pretty much anything else in the game. And can do a lot of damage in the right circumstances, but is mostly not a spell that we use in the run until the very, very end. But going out of your way is so worth it. It does so much damage in the right circumstances that it is pretty much mandatory. So after this, we do have this little scene here of Pyridus killing our boyfriend, Parn. And so now we're all sad and stuff, and we want to get revenge on Pyridus. And boop, boop. We're going to do that by pogoing on some things. Boop. Pogoing is super fun, by the way. And so over here, we're going to grab a wind upgrade. So by the time that you reach chapter 4, and there are 6 chapters in this game, so this is halfway through the game, they start to get a little thin on the upgrades. So we pick up water breathing here. Water breathing is not strictly required to beat the game. It is possible to pass the places that are supposed to require water breathing without having it. But it's really a pain in the butt to go without it. So we go ahead and pick it up anyway, but it's really only required in this chapter. There are no other places where water breathing is needed at all. So, oh, hello. Let's just reset this room and try that again. Ow. Sorry, 1 second. All right, there we go. There are no other places in the game where water breathing is necessary at all. 1, 2, 3. It really is a little bit funky in that way, and we don't get the upgrade that's in stage 5 at all. We just skip it entirely. Ooh, there we go. Get a little bit of a pogo going there. Go ahead and I'll fire smack that thing. Go ahead and float over you, and that's pretty much like those couple of rooms are the only ones that it's needed for. I actually need to really quickly stop and refill my wind element so that we can get through the next boss. So this is Narse, the Black Dragon, and Narse is Narse has a little bit of a funny quick kill. So we're just gonna pogo our way over Narse, and then drop to the back and hit Narse's butt repeatedly with our two-hander. And for some reason, Narse's butt is real sensitive, and Narse dies very, very quickly when that happens. Yeah, so that was Narse. And now we're gonna go ahead and hit that teleporter that we tapped in on earlier, and make our way to the interior of this stage where we can pursue Pyridus further. Now would be a really good time for some more donations if we have any.
Absolutely. I also wanted to announce that we have passed $14,000 for our total, which is super exciting. And just so everyone knows, our Power Book Pride summer record is $14,365. So we're about $340 away from breaking that record, which would be pretty amazing. And to help us get there, we have $65 from Zello that says,
"Oh my gosh.
Come on, everyone, let's get that Axiom Verge hard mode. Let's
here.
do it."
Sorry.
No, you're totally good.
Thank you. Thank you, Zello. All right, we're gonna do that the easy way. The pogo way is more fun, but that enemy was not moving into the right position for me to pogo for some reason. So we're gonna go ahead and just skip past that. So we're actually we're getting very close to the end of this stage at this point. And at this point, we are just we're sliding our way into the final fight of the stage with Piratus. And so you might want us to use our newly found Windstorm ability with this fight, but as it turns out, Piratus is super weak to light elemental damage, which is what our Will-O-Wisp spell is. So we're just gonna use that, and now we're gonna hover here and just stab her, and that's the end of the Piratus fight. That's, you know, only slightly slower than my best fight, so I don't feel too bad about that one, despite taking a couple of hits. And Piratus is going to use the orb that she stole from us way back in Chapter 1 and the bloody knife that she stabbed our boyfriend with to resurrect her boyfriend. So that's cool. This is an unskippable cutscene, so it's actually a really nice time to take a little break, grab a drink of water, and just sit back and enjoy the visual effects.
Theme is very beautiful.
It is very pretty. I love this game, and I'm really glad that the community around it that has formed is so great. We have some really wonderful people, and recently any percent no out of bounds dropped below 40 minutes. So we thought sub 35 or sub 45 was going to be unachievable at first. So it's pretty amazing. We're going to grab a quick two-handed weapon here. This one is stronger than the one that we have, and I use it for safety in some of the later chapters. Other people don't grab this. There's another one that's kind of on the way. I don't think it matters that much, but I also don't have world records, so... These lifeless kings in this dream sequence deal 40 damage to us, and you may notice that we are back at level 1 with 100 hit points, so we can only actually take 2 hits from them. It's really important to be able to dodge at least a couple of them. Here are our faceless friends. We're gonna have to stand on top of them to make them disappear for some reason. And when our boyfriend Parn disappears, that's when we're going to escape from the dream sequence. And that is going to enable us to kind of wake up and move on with our lives and chase Piratus, or not Piratus, Piratus is dead now, kind of chase our way through the rest of the labyrinth into stage 5, which is the Knight's Castle. So this stage really wants you to go fight 2 bosses, but we're actually not gonna do that. We're gonna skip an entire boss, and we're also gonna skip the upgrade that, woo! You know, you really don't want to get caught by those mimics. But so we're gonna skip the boss and the upgrade in this level, in their entirety. Oops, I pogoed on the wrong one. There we go. Nice. First try, we'll go ahead and switch to the Qatar, and then we'll double knife float up there and up here, and we're going to pick up our last wind upgrade of the run right here before we fight the next boss, and that is going to help us do a 1-cycle kill on that boss. This is actually supposed to be the second boss of this stage, but it turns out that the super jump power that you are supposed to use to get into this fight is just not necessary in order to get in here. You can just do a little knife floating and a little hover. You could also pogo off of the spider. Now we'll fight Ashram. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and jump. Boop, 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 boop. And Windstorm. And Windstorm. And now we're going to take advantage of a little funny thing in Ashram's AI where he's just going to charge into the wall for a really long time. And yeah, we're going to... Oh, why are you not dead yet? I beefed the damage on that a little bit. So this is going to make the imperfect Ashram fight just a little bit weird because he's gonna jump in ways that I don't want him to jump. Oh, ouch. So we're gonna windstorm him here. and windstorm him again. I did that wrong. All right, so this is gonna be, we're not gonna get the 1 cycle on this. That's gonna be okay. We at least didn't get grabbed, which is like one of the worst things that can happen. Whoop, a whoop. All right, so he's gonna start here, and we're basically just going to and stabbed. And that is the end of Imperfect Ashram. This will enable us to hit the purple switch, which will allow us to unlock the door that leads out of this level and into the next level. Now, at least in theory, a lot of the jumps that are in the last level, and in fact in this level, are supposed to require the super jump power in order to get through them. They do not. We're just gonna pogo. We're just gonna pogo because we can. Oh, hey, it's Parn. Hey, buddy. Weren't you dead? Apparently not. All right. Oh, well, he disappeared. So we're just gonna hit the switch and back out. We must have missed him wrapping back around us. That's clearly what happened here. It's a good thing that you don't have to fight Perfect Ashram. That is absolutely true. So now, with all of this under our belt, we are able to make our way out of this stage and into the next stage. We'll just have to make our way through this door fortress here. Haha, that's a video game reference, get it? And yeah, we have a little time for more donations if we've got them.
Absolutely. We have plenty coming in. Thank you so much, everyone. We have $20 from Subiom with no comment. Thank you so much. We have $50 from Neo Magus X that says, great cause, great runner, great games. Let's get a little more time with Sabera. I totally agree.
All right. Thank you so much for those donations, folks. All right. So here we are in stage 6, where we are just going to pogo and slide our way to absolute victory. These lifeless kings still do tons of damage, and the manticores will poison us. Whoop! Please die. Oh no! Birds, bad birds. That was actually a decent room, surprisingly. So now we're basically in the clear. With our hover power and our pogo power, we are basically safe to make it out of this area. We're gonna hit the teal switch, the final lock switch of the game, right here. It actually looks a little more white than teal to me, but on the map screens you can see that it was like intended to be teal. Also in, oh, hello. We're gonna, okay, there we go. Everything's fine. Nothing to see here. Nothing bad happened. All right, in this room there are these stealth things, these stealth enemies that, again, if they hit you, they stun you instantly. Like that. Oof. We're gonna take a little safety flit back and forth to regain a little bit of health before we make our move through the last screen here. Oh no. Okay, so we did take a death there. So that is our first death of the run. So that's gonna send us back to before we hit the switch. That does reset our progress, unfortunately, so we are gonna have to hit that switch a second time. So that's $20 from me toward the Axiom Verge incentive, making my own life harder on myself. So let's go ahead and flip this switch again and go ahead and make our way out of this area. And whoop, whoop, boop. And this time we're just going to do the easy way over here. We're going to float like this and immediately cast the spell. And then go ahead and whack all of these things for great justice. All right, so this time we're in a much better position. There we go. That was much better. And so we're gonna go ahead and move in. So now we get, Carla shows up again and decides we haven't seen enough of, oh my gosh. The game just crashed. Okay, give me one moment to restart the game and reload. Yes. So, I am actually gonna count that as a death. I'm gonna go ahead and count that as a death. And make that $40 total. Just because it's funny to me. I think that's that does not kill the run, by the way. It's we get to basically just reload from right here. All right, Carla, let's try this again. So we'll go ahead and start our wind blast right here. No, what I want is to switch the Qatar. All right, the timing on casting these wind blasts is important for that kind of... I switched and then didn't switch correct. Anyway, it's fine. So we actually get to use wind blast to bypass a lot of the boss fights that we otherwise would have taken some more time on, even with all of the extra levels and wind upgrades that we have. So this is actually pretty nice. We're going to go ahead, and Carla herself is actually a little bit of a special pushover here. We wind blast her like this, and she's dead, completely annihilated. We won't see Carla again. Flaus goes down nice and easy, and we don't have to fight a second version of Carla. We actually just get to go into the Demon God fight, which, as it turns out, if you just drop a windstorm on her right as her sword comes out, goes very, very quickly. So after Demon God is Narse. Narse requires a little bit of a different tack on from the first fight. In the first fight, we just pogoed on him immediately. And on that one, I completely bopped up the strategy. All right, so now we're at the back. Okay, there we go. And that's why we pick up the stronger two-hander, is actually to make the Narse fight go faster. And now, we have Pyridus here. So we actually want Will-O-Wisp to be going into this fight. Because Pyridus can actually be still quite snarly if you're not really careful. And there we go. Farewell to Pyridus. Narse's precious bottom. Yes, exactly. So now we have to fight a boss that we didn't fight before, which is Beld. He's gonna swing at us. We're gonna do our best to get through the Beld fight with some efficiency. But Beld is really annoying if you get thrown off your pattern, and I got thrown off my pattern. Yeah, he's gonna whoop. Beld is also resistant to fire, so I really want to be fighting him with wind, and I just kind of messed that. All right, okay, we made it through the Beld fight. He didn't kill me, which was really the big risk with getting off pattern there. One of the reasons that Beld is so hard is because we don't do a single fight with him in the run. We don't have a solo fight with Beld. We only have the boss rush fight with him because we just skip him normally. All right, so we are actually in a good position for the imperfect ashram fight here. We are going to unload on him with a windstorm to start, and then he's going to add us, and then we're going to go ahead and windstorm him here. He's going to go ahead and drop back. We're going to hop behind him and stab, and he's dead. All right, and that's the end of the boss rush. But it's not the end of the run, of course. We have more to go. And as we spiral through various cutscenes to make our way to the last boss, we actually do have some time for a few more quick donations because all of our friends are going to revisit us here.
Sounds good. We have plenty rolling in, so I'll give us an update on the hard mode incentive after I read these. We have $100 from Hipanwana. Thank you so much for that. We have $20 from the Jaded View and $50 from Eric Clouder. Thank you to the three of you so much. And with that, we now are at $814 out of 1,000 for the hard mode incentive. So it's within reach.
$114, and I will be giving another 40 after this run, so that'll put us at 854. So we don't have long to go for not only making my life a little bit more difficult, making the run a little bit longer, but also I mentioned it in chat earlier, but I'll mention it now. Axiom Verge hard mode has a super secret bonus glitch that is not seen in the normal mode run. So if you like super secret glitches, you should donate.
Only about gonna basically be $150 away. We can do this.
Okay. Woo! I did it bad. Okay. Well, we're actually going to reset really quickly to that save point, just because taking that hit slows down the final boss fight enough that I actually want to try this again. I forgot what button my bow was part of the problem. So this is actually where the dark bow comes in handy. For some reason, this final boss is weak to darkness. Oh, you are in a bad place. I moved back too far. Whatever. Oh, yikes. All right. Well, we're not gonna do it again. So, oh no. We might actually be doing it again. And yeah, that was bad. I got off pattern on the quick kill and that killed me. So we're up to $60 now. So we have $130 remaining roughly for the hard mode incentive. Oh no, I'm not using the dark bow. Let's try this again with less. All right, this is better. This is actually where I want you to be. All right, there we go. That is a damageless defeat of the first form of the final boss. There is a sword floating in midair over there, if you notice. That is the Parn sword. It is the strongest sword in the game. We're not gonna pick it up immediately. We are gonna pick it up pretty quick. Now our boyfriend gets huge and angry and turns into a giant flying eye. Why? I don't know. But we are going to come here and hang out and just stab, and grab this. And now we go ahead and switch to the Parn Sword, which is our... Woo! Okay, we'll go ahead and take that. That's totally fine. Now we're going to play jump rope with this boss a little bit here. We're going to do a single jump and hover, and then hang out, and then do a double jump to get over... the fire things without actually having to get over them. Let's see. He has these shade protectors in this, and we'll go ahead and that. and fire off a few windstorms in the meantime as we can get them off. We're basically trying to just like whack him as fast as possible with the Parn Sword because this is where our optimal damage is going to come from. And so there is a very specific safe spot here, and this is going to go ahead and finish off the boss, but not the run. The run is not over yet. It is not going to be time for a little bit of time. See, we now get to understand that this entire labyrinth was a dream world that we basically that Deedlit wished herself into because her boyfriend died in real life and she was sad. So we reunite with the soul of our actual boyfriend who tells us it's okay and we can go now and we should go and be at peace and come to terms with our loss. And that allows us to exit the Wonder Labyrinth and return to the real world. Bye, Parn. It's hard being an elf. That's hard. Living forever is rough. So the weeping eye of sadness disappears, the labyrinth disappears, and we wake up in our cabin. Weird thing about this cabin, that dresser, a hutch on the right, is broken, just like we broke it in the dream. And if you don't break it in the dream sequence, it is intact and the sword is still in there. So was it really a dream sequence or was it a short breach into the real world? But so we still have control of Deedlit, and we are basically dashing across town to find peace and time.
GG, great run.
Thank you very much. And thank you all for letting me showcase this here. This is a wonderful cause. I'm really excited to be here for Power Up with Pride. I will be back after Super Metroid for Axiom Verge, and I owe $60 to the Trevor Project, which I will be paying shortly. Thank you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Frozen, for wonderful hosting, and I will see you all real soon.
Thank you so much for that awesome